obviously from a results standpoint, not what you would have wanted to see from your team this week. What did you think about the tournament out in Houston and how your team performed? They had some comeback in them in those final two games, but just couldn't get across the finish line.
Yeah, obviously it's a great tournament. I thought there were 6 great teams there playing and a good atmosphere for our guys, but we just don't do enough. We get 2 poor starts, on the Saturday and Sunday games, and we still have the opportunity to win. I mean, we got guys at the plate with less than 2 outs in the 9th against Arizona, like we did Tuesday night against Troy, and then we had opportunities late in that game against Oklahoma State. So we got to do more, and we got to kind of figure out our pitching on the weekends a little bit.
Coach, I know that you're a guy who, you value your upperclassmen, and I know it's got to be hurting you to see Hunter Hines struggle the way he has this year. You took him out of the lineup for a couple of games this week and then brought him back on Sunday. What's he telling you about what he's seeing at the plate and what he's going through right now?
Well, it's tough. I mean, you got a guy who can perform at such a high level, and when he's really good, we always win. We have a great chance to win. We just got to get him in that right mindset, and just kind of had a couple tough days, and got to get mechanically right and get some confidence back. I mean, this game is so much confidence, and trying to get him moving forward and helping this ball club. We can't be as good as we want to be without Hunter Hines. He's an unbelievable player. He's shown that, but he's got to get back to that player he was in, I guess, 2022 and 2023.
I know that this weekend's defensive miscues had to drive you absolutely crazy. The game yesterday especially costing you some runs there in the early going. Defensively, how close are you to figuring out, what that starting nine's going to be and solving those issues and getting everybody on the same page? Well,
I mean, I think it's just one spot that we have to really work at. I just got to be able to try to get that bat in the lineup also. So, we're pretty close. I mean, like I said, it's, we've played a tough schedule, probably tougher than most early, played some really good opponents. And our guys have gone out there trial by fire, and I'm trying to have them to figure out and learn and who's the best guy and who's the best matchup. And we got to defend in the middle of the infield. Dylan's done a good job at second base, man, from the start. We just got to figure out what's the best defensive middle infield for us because we pitch at such a high level that if we can just keep somebody close, and I'm pretty pleased where we're at. Offensively, I just wish we were a little more opportunistic at times, and we'd probably be 2 or 3 games better, in the win-loss total.
You have an interesting, and I know you're not going to sit there and tell me, oh, yeah, we have good losses, but this time a season ago you had 4 losses to 4 teams who ended up not making the tournament. The 4 losses you have right now are teams that you are probably going to make the NCAA tournament. When you look at the overall picture of how this team has played, is it just a matter of, hey, we're just a play here or a play there from having a couple of really good wins on our schedule?
Well, that's what pisses you off. I mean, that's because everybody we've played, and not only have we played good teams, we have almost got everybody's frontline arm. And so, if you look at the last 4 games, I think we went Tuesday night, the guy was 96, 98, and then, Friday it was 95, 97, and Saturday it was, we've taken on some real aces, and we've competed, but like you said, and you hate to sit nickel and dime that, but you take a play here and a play there, we win 3 of the 4 games. And that's the frustration of the whole weekend is we just got to do more, and we can't sit and pout. And I told the guys today we just finished practice. We flew in today and had practice, and you got to go out there and play the game, and we got to play it better than our opponent. Well, we're talented. I really like this group. I wasn't sure last year. We're at this point. I wasn't sure. Like this year's group, there are real pieces there, but I got to get the right pieces in the right spots, and we got to get a couple guys to perform to their abilities.
Let's talk about a couple of good things that happened this weekend. We'll start with Pico again, because I talked to Coach Ostrander earlier, and we're going to talk about these 3 Friday night guys we have here in the state. J.B. Middleton at Southern, you have Pico, Hunter Elliott at Ole Miss. He just continues to pitch at an incredibly high level. I don't know that anybody in college baseball has had a better 3 starts than him. What has been the secret to the early season success for him?
I think command and direction. Like he's just, as a younger player, he's just weaker. He would spin off balls and miss pitches, and you're not seeing that right now. The velo's gone up with that too. You're looking at a tall, lanky left-hander throwing in the mid-90s, and I think he's done a good job. So that's a key. You need an ace, and I feel like we got a really strong bullpen. We just got to figure out these other 2 roles and get some starts with some length to them. Because if we can do that, our bullpen can hold it together.
And then from the offensive side, Ace Reese had a great weekend for you. 3 home runs, was just all over the ball field for you. He looks like the player we heard a lot about in the fall. He looks like he's going to be able to be that kind of player for you all season long. He started out a little slow, but, man, when he got hot, it didn't take long for him to get going.
Well, I don't know if that was going back home or what, but he played really good this weekend. It was exciting to see Reed Stallman. Man, he had the same type of weekend.
Yeah.
We had some guys play really well and on a big stage. We just got a couple pieces of those together. But seeing Ace play the way he did and Reed played the way he did, and Bryce Chance was good, and Noah Sullivan. We've had some guys. We got a good middle of the lineup there.
You just announced about an hour ago that you've moved the game with Southern Mississippi to Wednesday for 4 o'clock first pitch with the weather we're expecting to have here in Starkville tomorrow. Does that delay change what your pitching plans were going to be? What are the plans for Wednesday against the Golden Eagles?
Well, we haven't made that decision yet, but when we do, I'll make sure we get it out to you. We literally got off a plane at noon, went straight to practice, had to make that decision, and we'll kind of roll around. We'll put it out here, I'm sure, soon. But we haven't totally had that final meeting. We'll have that kind of somewhere here in a little while.
You forgot, but at one of the first preseason conferences, you told me when there was going to be weather news, you would let me report it. But I found out on Twitter like everyone else. What happened there? What was the breakdown?
Sorry. Man, that's a hard one right there. I did it on opening day.
Yeah.
And we had this same type of storm, and it was 75 degrees and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in town was asking me why we didn't play that day. So I'm a little leery. This storm looks worse.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the worst part about this job is moving games and doing stuff, because if it's nice after you moved it, you get yelled at by everybody. So I have a hard enough time, Coach. So
yeah, you don't need to be the weatherman on top of all that. When you look ahead to this weekend, you mentioned having some struggles with the starting pitching this past weekend. Are you looking to maybe make a change in that rotation, or are you going to give it another weekend? What's the plan there?
No, you could see some of that. So, like I said, we just got played last night, got back today, but everything's on the table right now. We got too many good options not to be able to get through 2 or 3 innings, and so we're going to have to look at our guys and see where we're at and try to give us the best chance, because we do have an ace. We feel like with Pico, and if we can put another guy or two with him, we got a chance to have a special staff. We got shored up a little defensively and pitch a little bit better. But, man, we've done some special things on the mound too. We had some guys pitch really good out there also. Yeah,
and 2 of those guys I want to ask you about, Mekhi Grant and Nate Williams. I've just been impressed by them. And Grant especially threw really well in a high-leverage situation. I thought Williams was really good as well. You mentioned both of those guys when we talked to you in the preseason. Have they been about where you thought they would be?
They have been. And I've been impressed. I would throw Dane Burns in there too, because Dane pitched he was mid-90s in that situation. They all came in, and what I liked about them is they pitched with poise. It wasn't a ton of balls. It wasn't a ton of they pitched in the zone. And when you have that type of power stuff, man, you can do a lot of things. And so I felt like we saw it. We got Kevin Monell out there yesterday. I don't know if you happened to see him, and he's one of our better guys too, and pitched really well for the first time. So we feel like we got some pieces. We just got to, we got to get out of the gate in those games.
I think one of our texters pointed this out, that a season ago, the idea of bringing somebody off the bench and them hitting a home run, I mean, it was tough. You just didn't have that depth. You've done it twice already this year. Your offensive depth is just so much better this season. Do you feel good about the options you have, even outside the starting lineup?
I do. We do have some options. Sometimes, you feel like sometimes there's too many options because you want one guy to sit out there and hit for a while. But we can match up. I thought Aaron Downs did it this weekend, and he's such a selfless player. There's not a time he hits a home run, I don't even play him the next day. He could pout and bitch, but he doesn't. Like we do have some really good options there, and like I said, I like we got to figure ourselves out defensively a little bit and try to get the best group on the field at the same time. That's my biggest challenge right now.
All right, Coach Chris Lemonis back on in action on Wednesday, 4 o'clock against Southern Mississippi at Denny Noble Field. Coach, we always appreciate your time.